Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get back into more content with Amberlynn and Reid. Now, quickly before we get into it, I just want to point out two things. First and foremost, I thought I had finished all of the Q&As, and I was so happy. Like, I was on cloud nine, and then I realized I stuck a couple folders within folders, so I actually have several more Q&As to go. And I'm not going to lie, I shed a few tears. I actually did cry a little bit. Like, I had a bit of a mental breakdown. I joined Amber in her daily moping sessions, but we're going to get through those just when I can. I'm not going to do them straight away, just when I feel like it, honestly, because they're not that important. And I mean, it's honestly been probably a couple weeks now since those have already been put up, so everybody knows what they're like anyway, and all the questions and the answers. And I mean, you guys probably know me well enough by now to gauge how my responses would be. Secondly, I'm going to be replacing my Wombat currently just right now for the next couple videos. I'm going to put some gameplay footage from my other channel in just over my voice, like currently how it is now. Just let you guys gauge whether or not, if you like it, you do like it, you prefer the Wombat, you prefer the gameplay. Just let me know in the comments below how you feel about it. I would really appreciate just a little bit of feedback. I want to try something new. But let's get straight into the video, shall we?
Hello, welcome to a new video. So in this video, we're gonna do like assumptions about me. I have done a video like this before. I've done quite a few. This was a popular thing that like YouTubers did years ago, but like sometimes I like to bring back the old stuff. You know what I'm saying?
AKA she has no idea what to film, so she's just going to do something she's done before.
So that's what this video is. I went onto Instagram and I was like, y'all, send me assumptions. Like, what do you assume about me? I need to know. So let me either clarify, deny, or admit. So let's get into it.
I like how it's clarify, deny, or admit. It's the last one that people want you to really take accountability for that goes last, and it's the first two that you typically do up front. Very interesting, Amber. Also, can we not, please, for the love of God, I have done about 17 Q&As and I just realized I have more to do, so can we not have a video Q&A, because I don't have the mental capacity for it right now.
You currently have cellulitis and that is why you are not filming. No, that is not true. I haven't had cellulitis for months, thankfully.
There's something so serious that could be life-ending. She says it so casually, like, yeah, I haven't had it in a couple months. Like, we'll just wait and see when it happens again.
I told you guys that I originally stopped filming because I just wanted a break. I wanted to spend time with Tommy. Plus, this time of year, I always get in this weird, like, depressive state. And I do come out of it. So that's, like, the thing where it's like I was holding on to that. I was like, I'm gonna come out of it. I want to enjoy my time with Tommy. I also just like don't want to film. There's just been like a lot that's been going on within like my life and within YouTube.
My honest opinion with Amber, I think her relationship status is what determines her mental health. Like, if you are in a relationship in which you create a fairy tale Disney romance like Amber does, you're going to be very unhappy when you find out it's not going to be like that. Obviously, there's going to be fighting, there's going to be arguing, you're going to push each other's boundaries, you're going to try and figure out how the other works and, you know, the best way to kind of make a relationship work. Of course, Amber isn't someone who's going to really give and take. She's not going to be someone who's going to allow compromise. It is either going to be her way or no way, and she may do it for the short term, but she's certainly not going to change long term. I mean, she'll take on other people's personality traits, but she's not going to actively want to change and better herself for the partners. And you can see right now, even the relationship with Tommy is talking about how she is upset, how she would want to rather be, you know, no longer on this earth and with her fiance, and Amber's gone, I'm feeling loved, I'm feeling amazing, this is like the best relationship ever, it's the most soft relationship. Meanwhile, her partner's getting drunk and talking about wanting to be with her ex-fiance. So, I mean, can you see anyone else's emotional state other than your own? And if they're not giving you the love and validation they need, is it only you that matter in the relationship? Because, like, your partner is hurting, dog, and you just don't seem to care other than just what is in front of you and what you feel and how you feel, really.
And I'm like, I just don't want to film. I'm so happy in my relationship. I realized how like so much of YouTube like literally made me unhappy. So coming from like the high and the happiness and just like, wow, just like feeling light and free in my normal everyday life. And then all of a sudden, like every time I go on YouTube, there's just new rumors.
In most cases, the rumors usually are true, and on the rare occasions when they're not true, it's usually caused by you, usually either admitting the truth or exaggerating the truth, so that way it ends up being a lie. Like, lying by omitting a part of the truth is you still lying. You exaggerating the truth is still lying in some capacity. So you can't blame other people for speculating on you doing something or potentially having something going on your life and then getting mad at people for it because you lie. Like, you're the one that creates the rumors, you're the one that creates the situations in which people are going to speculate. Don't do that stuff and people would stop speculating. It's really that simple. And I mean, I think it's kind of to the point where after 11 years of you compulsive lying, people are never really going to believe you anyway. So you might as well just continue doing what you're doing now and then just drawing everything up to hate because nobody's going to trust you. So,
and there's this and there's that happening and I'm harassed and it's just a lot. Normally when something or someone is in your life and it doesn't give you anything good in your life, it makes you unhappy. Usually you get rid of that. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like YouTube has not been making me happy.
Alright, Amber, riddle me this. Why did you continue dating Casey if Casey allegedly Rain and Petals eavesdropped you? Why did you continue dating Destiny after you started figuring out Destiny was cheating on you? Why did you continue dating Beck after you and Beck developed severe depression and were miserable in the relationship? Why did you continue dating Wifey after Wifey allegedly put her hands on you? Why did you choose to be friends with Alexis again after Alexis exposed you? Why did you continue dating Erica after Erica lied about being married? Why did you continue dating Danielle after Danielle lied to you about her age and she was also developing severe homophobia based on her internalized homophobia on herself? Why did you continue dating all of these people even though there was so much toxicity in the relationships and you were willing to get rid of all of that toxicity?
Like, we could talk more about that because one of the assumptions is YouTube related. And so I don't want to like get into like full detail right now, but it's just like the subject of YouTube is really heavy for me lately and it doesn't make me feel good. So it was easier for me to just be like,
I want to quickly point out the hypocrisy in Amber's statement because there was only 3 videos ago. Tommy's ex-partner's ex-wife, was talking about a certain situation that was going on with Tommy, and Amber said people who like to keep key details out of situations or out of the private eye have something to hide. So why don't you want to talk about it right now, Amber? Is there something to hide? Have you got something to hide? Is there a reason why you're not filming?
this doesn't suit me right now. This isn't suiting my happiness that I'm currently experiencing. So I don't want it in my life anymore. So it was very easy for me to be like, all right, I'm gonna take a break and take a step back.
So what you're saying is that ignorance is bliss, and the criticism that you're receiving from people is ruining the delusion of your perfect relationship.
Next assumption is Tommy is only allowing you to film in that one spot in her house, which is right here, as you guys can see. No, she gave me the freedom to film literally anywhere, but I have chosen to do it here. This is actually the dining room. This is perfect because my tripod sits on the table. I have a chair to sit on.
I know that I'm supposed to be reacting to our words, but all I can think about is when people were talking about whether or not she's using 2 chairs to sit on, and I've noticed that in the recent videos, she actually has pulled the chair away to make it look like she's not actually sitting on it, so she probably may not be sitting on it right now, but I can't tell whether or not. I'll probably have to go back and look and see if she was actually sitting on multiple chairs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Amber was, but they actually look similar to the chairs that I use in my dining room. And they're pretty big chairs, so if Emma needs 2 of those, I don't know about that, girl. Jeez.
In my opinion, it's really good lighting. Since I haven't been vlogging, I have not found a reason to film anywhere else in the house, but she said I could film anywhere. Next assumption is you tend to assume that most people are against you. I have my moments where I'm like, everyone loves me, I'm great. And then I have my moments where I'm like, everyone is against me and I'm fully hated. But there is a gray area. I do know that there are a large amount of people who do support me and like me and love me, just like as a person or as a YouTuber, whatever it may be. And then I do know that there is a portion of people who really, really strongly dislike me. So I am able to see the gray area, but sometimes it's hard for me to find.
It's because you chalk everything up to hate, regardless of how minor the criticism is. And you can't see beyond your own, what you consider to be perfection, to be some sort of issue. Because then you would have to take accountability and say, shit, maybe I'm not actually perfect. Shit, maybe I am actually wrong for once. And you're not able to do that unless it's at the expense of trying to be a martyr and save someone else. Like, you will take criticism when it is to defend your partners. And that is the only really, and your friends. Only when you really do those things you ever really take accountability. And even then, you can't take accountability because you show in your own accountability videos that you're willing to fight and argue and claw just at the tiny bit of shred of dignity that you really have left, because everyone sees you for what you are. Like, nobody really, even your most avid followers, have the moments where they're like, oh shit, who the hell am I supporting? And only people that are really truly trash people, and I mean genuine trash, and I know that sounds horrible to call other people trash, but if you can support someone like Amber or like Foodie, genuinely support them, see the things that they do, and still willingly choose to support them, you are one trashy ass person. Like, I'm not talking in the idea of like classism. I'm talking about morality wise. You will have to be a shitty person to support people like that.
Assumption, you blame everyone else for your obesity. No, like I am fully aware that my size is ultimately my fault. And yes, there are things that caused me to be this size, but it's like,
This right here irks me to no end because she has actually blamed Destiny and Beck for the weight gain that she has gotten. And they are not feeders, but they are complacent in allowing her to get what she wants. So they're not actively supporting her in eating, but they are allowing her to overeat. At least when they were in relationships, they would allow her to do it because it was the path of least resistance for them. Now she is dating someone who wants her to get bigger, who someone wants to kind of get their rocks off to the idea of Amber gaining weight. Now Amber is going to defend her because she wants to take accountability off the feeder because she understands that she has that label applied to her. So she was perfectly fine with throwing that label on Beck and on Crystal and on, you know, Destiny, but now it's no longer suitable because it's the truth towards Emily. That's why she's going to kind of take the accountability for it. And even then, again, it's not even accountability because I have lipedema, I have lipedema, I have an ED. Well, she's not going to say that because she wants to keep that on the back burner just in case that she wants to do one more weight loss arc. But you know, lipedema or lipedema is going to be the reason why she can't lose weight. Which, hate to break it to you, if there are people out there with lipedema and lipedema who have it much worse than you, Amber, because there are people who can have worse versions of those two diseases than you, and they can still lose weight, you have no excuse. Because they can lose weight and they have it worse than you, so what is your reason for not losing weight? And no offense, but you and Chantal also say that you plateau at 500 pounds. That's a bunch of bullshit right there.
my fault that I haven't gotten those things fixed. Like, that's in my hands. Like, yes, being fat isn't like, oh my God, I chose to be this way.
No, Amber, you actually did choose to be overweight. Every single time you decide to eat something, that was you choosing to be overweight. Regardless if you have an ED, regardless if you have a lipedema or lipedema, because you yourself said you had about 150 pounds of lipedema. Okay, cool. You're 500 pounds, take away 150, so that leaves you with 350. Even as someone at your size, that would still be morbidly obese. So why are you still morbidly obese if the lipedema and lipedema was the reason why you're morbidly obese in the first place? You still have an extra 140, 50, 60 pounds on top of the weight you should technically be. So why are you still morbidly obese when you take away the weight from your lipedema or lipedema? It's because you chose to eat yourself that way. And you had the time, the money, and the resources to either get weight loss surgery, to get the medication in order to, like Ozempic and stuff like that, to actually lose the weight. And you've also had the time and the resources and the money to go into inpatient care, but you refuse to give up control because you are a control freak.
No, I did choose or unchoose or not choose to actually get help for the reasons why I'm fat, if that makes sense. It's no one else's fault. Something that my mom actually, for majority of my life, she struggled with was blaming herself for my weight. And I'm fully also aware of the fact of why she does that, like why she blames herself, because
Which ultimately isn't an excuse for our parents because they did have their own issues, but if you have children, it's your responsibility to give them the best future. If that means you're not able to get over your issues and placing them up for adoption and allowing them to have a life that you could not give them, that is one situation that could have happened. But no, they chose to be stubborn and continue doing their addictions and creating some of the worst just environments for their children. You know how you have one child that went to prison. You have one child that is addicted to food. You have one child that went up for closed adoption. I think there's a fourth one. I think she has three brothers, right? I don't know about the third one. I don't remember anything. Like, those issues are what allowed Amber to get into the position she is now. It is the issue that allowed her brother to end up in prison. And the third and fourth one, I don't know about them. Like, I hope they're okay and I hope they're going well. And obviously, I do like hope they stay away from as far as possible away from Amber as possible. Probably away from Mama Lynn too, because if I had to guess, I would say Mama Lynn would probably introduce them, and I would hope that never happens.
I had a really bad childhood and I turned to food as comfort. My mom blames herself and I'm just constantly like, Mom, this is not your fault. It's okay. So I have to like kind of talk her down from that thought.
No, Amber, you shouldn't be calming her down because she did do something wrong. She understands what she did wrong and she is accepting accountability for it. She is trying to make up for it by trying to better herself and help you out. She is doing the right thing. You're impeding her making progress by trying to tell her it isn't her fault. It is her responsibility. Her addiction created a bad environment which gave you an addiction, and she understands that she did something wrong and that is her, cross to burden. Like, she is taking responsibility. Stop trying to defend her negative actions because she understands what she did wrong.
Yeah, what I choose to eat is what I choose to eat. What I choose not to eat is what I choose not to eat. My weight will never be anyone else's fault but my own. Next assumption is you're engaged. No, I'm not. Next, you subconsciously are attracted to men. No, I am not attracted to men, but there are guys where you can look at them and just know, like, oh, that's an attractive guy. In the same way of like a gay man can look at a girl and be like, oh, that's an attractive girl. Or like a straight female can look at another straight female and be like, oh, that's an attractive female. Like, there's a spectrum. Like, there is a difference between being attracted to someone, but knowing that someone is attractive. Even as a lesbian, I can look at another woman and be like, oh, she's really pretty, but that doesn't mean that I'm attracted to her. I'm fully lesbian, so that's that.
As someone who is bisexual, I can actually give a unique perspective on this because you can have a level of attractiveness towards people and still not be sexually attracted to them. Like me personally, I have certain things that I find attractive on men and I have certain things I find attractive on women. But then there is a bit of a crossover where both things kind of overlay. Like I like tattoos and I also like piercings and I find them both attractive on men and women. But then I like long hair for women and I don't really find long hair attractive on men. Just a preference. In the same way that I like certain things on men that I don't like on certain things on women. That's just how my brain functions. That being said, Amber does entertain a lot of men, and when she is not in a relationship or when she is dating someone who is either bisexual or has some sort of romantic interest in men as well, or that curiosity of being, having that level of attractiveness. Amber is someone who is willing to be bisexual or is willing to experiment or is willing to do this. If you're a hardcore lesbian and you're someone who is not attractive to men, why would you be entertaining these things based on what your partner also likes? That's why I say that I don't believe Amber is lesbian or bisexual or, anywhere in between. I think Amber is what I call a narc-sexual. Someone who is willing to give Amber enough attention, Amber is willing to date them, simply because she's attracted to not the person itself, but what she can get out of the person. Attention, validation, and potentially car rides. Like, that's what Amber is. She doesn't have a level of attractiveness towards women. It's that women are more likely to put up with her shit, so she's willing to date women more so than she would be willing to date men. Now, physically, she might find women more attractive, but just because you find something more willingly more attractive doesn't automatically mean that you have that sexuality in mind. It's just a very weird thing. Sexuality is a very fluid thing. It's not something that is just black and white for a lot of people. Like, some people are just like, yeah, I'm hardcore gay, and there's some people like, I'm hardcore straight. There's never going to be overlap, or there's never going to be in between. But for a lot of people, there is that curiosity, or there is that ability to kind of go in between. It's not very black or white for every single person.
You weighed over 600 pounds at one point and don't want to admit it. I have never seen 600 pounds on the scale. You guys know. We can all say it together. My highest weight was 572.4. And that's like my lowest highest weight.
Pretty sure we all know what Amber means. Her most lowest weight or recorded weight is what Amber has only seen on the scales herself, or what she's willing to say on the scales herself. Like, Amber herself probably knows that she weighed 600 pounds at one point, or over 600 pounds at one point, and she has probably seen it on the scales, but she's never going to let you guys know that, because as long as it's not said out loud that she knows that she was 600 pounds at one point, or she saw the scale see 600 pounds at one point, then it doesn't exist. Ignorance is bliss to her, and as long as she doesn't say it out loud and is willing to admit it, nobody can really say it for sure.
That I like physically saw myself, but I'm telling you, I go back and look at older videos and I looked so much bigger than I do now. Like, I'm fully aware that I am really, really large and in charge, but
You're most certainly large, but you're definitely not in charge, because if you were, you would have been able to stick to your weight loss surgery or your weight loss diet or your weight loss, medication, and you would have lost the weight by now.
that was weird. I'm fully aware that I am very big, but like I used to be bigger, and that's obvious. And I look back at that and I'm like, whoa, like I had to have been bigger. It just, I don't know. It's not making sense. I've always been honest about my weight. So if I was ever bigger than 572.4 and I knew it, you guys would know too.
That's not true. You have fully admitted in the past that you have lied about your weight because you're worried about how people are going to see you or criticize you for it. You also have talked about the fact that when you gain weight, you stop weighing in because it sets you, like, it gives you a bad mental state. By that you mean people are going to criticize you when you don't like being criticized.
Next assumption is your body hurts all of the time. Honestly, no. And I think it's just because like I'm used to the uncomfortability, if that's a word, of my size because it's like my normal baseline. But I will say, because Tommy has lots of stairs in her home and I be using them daily, I am up and down them stairs.
I'm going to call bull on this because my highest recorded weight was 142 kilos, 142.4. So if you convert that from kilos to pounds, I think it's around 310, 315 pounds. So if Amber started around that type of weight, where I was at my highest and I was in severe pain, and I understand that I also have scoliosis. So my neck, back, and hips were really just in severe amount of pain every single day after work. And I had a very active job, so of course I was going to be in a lot of pain. But after losing 56 kilos, I don't have a lot of pain anymore. Like, I will wake up every now and then on the rare occasion where I have severe back pain from probably like my mattress or from sleeping wrong, and it's still pretty bad. But for you being an extra 200 pounds plus pounds on top of that, being morbidly obese longer than I am for just so long, honestly. Like, you are older than I am, you've been morbidly obese longer than I am, and you carry more weight as a woman than I do. So you would be in a severe amount of pain. And you can't say just because you walk up and down some stairs. No, it would be pain all of the time for you. There is just no way in hell that you wouldn't be in pain.
Easily at least 15 times a day, because it's like she has multiple floors. Everything is on a different floor. So my knees, I'm not gonna lie, have been hurting so bad. And it's just because it's like my body is not used to stairs. I have not had to use stairs like that daily, multiple times a day. I don't think ever in my life. When I lived in Virginia, I had to, but that was like 8 years ago, and I was a lot smaller then, a lot younger then, a lot more stamina was there. My knee muscles, they be hurting. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
it's going to be more than just muscles and tendon. Your cartilage in your knees would be absolutely wrecked, and mine are terrible. Like, there are still points in which I'm exercising and my knees will give out because of how much damage I've done to it. So I could imagine how bad her knees would be. Like, if my knees are, right now I'm 29 years old, so if my knees are currently in what the doctors consider to be in their 40s, I can't imagine what your knees and how bad the cartilage in your knees would be right now. Like, you would probably, if I had to take a wild guess, would be like 50s or 60s, something like that. They would be horrendously bad. Like, my knees are seriously damaged, and I shouldn't be laughing about that. It's not good. Like, having knees in your 40s and you're only 29, yeah, that's not good. But I can't imagine how bad Amber's would be right now.
Some days I'm like, oh my God, it hurts to just stand. But I think I just have to build on those muscles, and that's okay. That's mainly the pain that I've been feeling. But I think there is like an uncomfortability that I have to my body that I am just used to, that I can tell goes away when I lose large chunks of weight. Large chunks of weight. Does that make sense? I can tell there's a certain uncomfortability that does go away when I lose a large chunk of weight, because I feel it. And then when I feel it, I'm like, whoa, I didn't even realize like that was an issue or that was a problem or that was uncomfortable at the time, because you get so used to it.
And you don't think that's reason enough for you not to want to lose weight? Like, if you have a dull pain that you have 24/7 that makes you uncomfortable, and when you lose weight, it goes away, wouldn't you want to get rid of that pain forever? Like, lose the weight and stop being at your baseline, which it makes no goddamn sense because nobody's baseline is at 500 pounds, Amber. That's absolutely ridiculous for you to say. Like, lose the weight and you won't have that dull pain 24/7. Also, if you lose weight, your knees would feel a lot better and you probably wouldn't be as bad walking around or as bad when you're going up and down stairs.
It's like a baseline type of thing. You're a pillow princess.
No, we're not doing this. I am so goddamn sick of these questions. I am so goddamn done. I am not doing these questions. You are the single-handed reason why I'm no longer 50-50 when it comes to my sexuality. In fact, I'm about 80-20, and it is completely your fault that I'm going to eventually be fully gay.
You think you look smaller than you actually are. Yes, sometimes. I think I really do struggle with body image problems, obviously, like body dysmorphia. I don't realize how big I am until like I see a certain angle of like a photo taken of me or a video taken of me, and I see it and I'm like, whoa, like, because I don't realize it like at all. Like, I'm sitting here and I only see like parts of my body. I never really see myself in certain sort of like everyday angles unless someone's like taking a picture or a video or something, and I don't mind that. But it doesn't take away the fact that I literally am like jaw to the floor when I see how big I am. I definitely have some sort of like body dysmorphia when it comes to that. And I've been very open about that over the years because I've always struggled with like truly not realizing how big I am. And it's frustrating because it's like, if I processed like in my brain how big I was, I think maybe it would be easier for me to like stick to a diet and actually stick to a weight loss plan. But
I actually have the complete opposite problem where it took me such a long time to realize I was losing weight. Like, I could feel my clothes getting bigger. I could see that things didn't fit me anymore, but in my mind, I was still the same weight I was when I first started. And people kept saying, wow, you look so different. You look so different. And I would look in a mirror and I go, I don't see a difference. I don't know what it is. And it wasn't until I brought it up to my therapist. He's like, do you actually have body dysmorphia? Do you think you're bigger than you are? And I'm like, well, I am actually big. Like, I don't see the difference. And he's like, I could see the difference right here, right now. And like, how can you not see it? And it's like, I don't see a difference. And it wasn't until I hit 50 kilos and I looked at an old photo, I was like, oh, I actually do see somewhat of a difference. It's not something that is huge because a lot of people make this over exaggeration, but to me it's like a very minute thing. You don't see a lot of difference. So I wish I had Amber's problem. I wish that I thought I was smaller than I actually am, because I actually still look back at photos and I'm like, oh, do I still look like that? Because I can still kind of see that in the mirror, and most people are like, no, you don't look like that anymore. So, I wish I had Amber's problem.
you're having problems with your mom. No, not at all. Again, it's just like the rumors are crazy. A lot of people think me and my mom aren't speaking. My mom's mad at me. No, nothing like that. Like, me and my mom talk all the time. I do miss my mom, and I know she misses me. We make sure to tell each other all the time. But like, there is nothing going on with me and my mom. Like, those rumors, completely false.
Again, it's just one of those things that you did that made people wonder, like, why would you contact your mom and ask your mom to call you? If she didn't have her phone and she was working, why would you contact her via Facebook? Because then that wouldn't make any sense, because she wouldn't have been able to see her Facebook unless she was logged in at like a computer or something at work. But if she doesn't have a phone, usually for those reasons, why would she be logged into Facebook? It just doesn't make any sense. So people are going to speculate because it doesn't make sense, and the excuse that you gave made no sense to anyone.
Next assumption is you feel like you can't win with the haters. Yes, their mind is made up and there is no changing it. Even with proof, sometimes even with receipts, there is no changing the mind of a hater. You're one of the many women who had BPD misdiagnosed as bipolar. Yes.
I do know those situations do happen, and it is rather frequent, but I don't know a lot about the situation itself, so I'm not going to really speak on, BPD or bipolar, so not really my place to speak on something I don't know about, so I'm not really going to address it that much.
Next assumption is you lack discipline. I do. Next assumption is you bailed your urologist appointment. No, I did not. When I did have that appointment and when all of that kidney stuff was happening, since it's a unobstructing or non-obstructing kidney stone, means it's not traveling. It's like in my kidney and it's chilling. So they said that if I stopped having symptoms completely for weeks, then there was no reason to go to a urologist, because there was nothing they could really do about it, because a lot of people have non-obstructing kidney stones and they don't even know it. And I haven't had symptoms in easily 2 months plus.
This is actually true. The same thing happened with my brother-in-law. He had problems with kidney stones, and they did allow him to kind of pass them on his own time. And then when the symptoms kind of persisted and came back, they did remove his gallbladder. But before then, they kind of waited and see how the situation would turn out. So she could be telling the truth. Hard to tell with Amber because she is a liar.
I assume people blow everything out of proportion when it comes to you. Oh, yes. Absolutely everything is blown out of proportion. Yes. Anything bad. Anything that makes me look bad. Yes.
And why is that? Why is it that people are blowing small things out of proportion that could make you look bad, make you look even worse? Because if that's not common, there has to usually be a reason why. It's not just because people hate you because you're fat. There has to be some sort of reason other than the fact that you are just being targeted for hate.
You have a sweet tooth. Oh, yes. You've been doing a lot of reflecting lately. Yes, I am definitely a reflector, so I have been doing that. I'm not going to change anytime soon.
That's the entire point of self-reflection, to see the issues in who you are and fix them so that way you can be a better person. What's the point of self-reflecting if you're not going to change? Unless she's trying to say that she's not going to change on self-reflecting and that's now just a part of who she is, which isn't true because she hasn't changed at all.
Her hernia never went away. No, but they said it's nothing for me to worry about right now. Again, I'm just suffering with things that actually a lot of people suffer with. Hernia is one of them. And it's not one of those things that needs to be fixed at the moment. So still there and still chilling. Next assumption is you're quick to forgive people. Yes, I forgive and forgive and forgive. That's just like what I've done in my life. And a lot of people always ask like, Amberlynn, the reaction channels are like horrible towards you. Like, why do you try to message them and be friendly?
Easy, because it's manipulation. Everything that she's done is some sort of calculation to manipulate someone in some way. If she's willing to see the errors in people's ways and forgive them, it's not for them, it's for herself. There is a reason why she does it, and it's always to get something out of people. Now, if she can hold that over their heads, or if she can benefit in some sort of way, or even if she could defend her own actions by defending someone else's actions, that is why Amber forgives people. Now, you could say, oh, it's because she's gullible. No, I would say that she is gullible, but I wouldn't say it's because, you know, she's just an innocent person. It's because she tries to manipulate them and then she herself gets manipulated during the manipulation. It's not because she's, you know, an innocent person. It's because she's just stupid and then she gets manipulated by her own manipulation.
Like, I remember, what was it? Zachary Michael was going through something like with his health and I messaged him. I like related to him and I was like, I know it feels like it's scary to have like health issues happen and like you don't know what's wrong, and I just know it's scary, and I felt empathy and I felt sympathy towards him for that because I relate and it's scary, and I could sense and see and feel in his video when he was talking about it like he was worried. So the person that I am, like, I felt compelled to message him. I never mentioned publicly that I did that. I don't mention publicly when I message anyone, any YouTuber. You wouldn't believe some of the YouTubers I have spoken to who have even messaged me first. But I don't sit here and be like, yeah, this person messaged me and I messaged this person and we speak. Like, I don't do that. But reaction channels love to, like, when I message them, oh, they say something. So
Because in most cases you have something to hide, and when they do it, it's because they are doing their job. Because they are reaction channels. They speak on you publicly. That is their job to do so. You usually have something to hide, and it's always because you're trying to manipulate someone, and your idea of being friendly and trying to relate to them is just a way of manipulating them, because that is just your go-to. That is your personality. It's manipulation. 101. You try to be friendly with them, you try to relate to them, you try to create a connection with them, and most people now see you for what you are, so it doesn't work. It may have worked in the past, but now people go, oh, she's just manipulating. Oh, she's trying to relate to us. Oh, she's trying to be friendly and trying to build that connection with us. She wants something.
So Zachary Michael mentioned that I messaged him that, and people came to me. Opinions are so back and forth. Like, there's like a chunk of people who are like, ew, Amberlynn, that is so gross. Like, don't message him. Like, he wants nothing to do with you. Like, ugh. But then there's like another chunk of people who are like, why do you message him? Like, he has done wrong. Like, he has a whole channel just like making fun of you. Da da da. I just don't, after a while, someone doesn't even have to apologize to me. I'll accept an apology that wasn't even given. I'm not saying he needs to apologize to me. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I'm just trying to like give an example and show the gravity of like, people can like say bad things about me all day long. And for some reason, I still have like this part of me that like cares and is always up for a forgiveness moment. Like, I don't know. That says more about me, really, that I just kind of let people walk all over me. I don't know. I've always had that like issue type thing where I don't want to like have things just like be negative and prolonged. Like if I get in an argument with someone, like say a friend or whatever it may be, a partner, a family member, it doesn't matter. Like I don't like arguments that last forever. Like if an argument's arising, like let's fix it right then and there. Like let's fix it, say our apologies, and like move on. I'm very much that person. Like I really am like, I come in peace type of girly pop, and I know a lot of people don't want to view me as that person, but that's literally me.
Jesus Christ, Amber, the dick riding that entire paragraph you just spoke of is wild to me. Like, the fact that you are so egotistical that you believe morally as a person that you deserve an apology for something that someone else did, which they didn't even do anything wrong, by the way. They were just doing their job and speaking, criticizing your actions that you have done wrong in the past. You believe that you're entitled to an apology that they're not willing to give because they're not in the wrong. So you make yourself one on their behalf to accept. Is wild. That is batshit level. That is like Joker level insanity. Like that is just delusion in the purest form. And the fact that you believe that your needs need to be met, so you're willing to hash it out right here and now, even though people don't want to speak to you or don't want to deal with you right now. Like they want to compartmentalize their emotions. They want to remove themselves from the situation so they can calm themselves down and work on their own emotional needs. But you believe that yours take precedence over everyone else's. So you need to work it out right now so that you feel better. That is why people believe that you're a narcissist, because you don't care about how other people feel. It's as long as you are happy and that your emotional needs are met and whatever issue is corrected and you feel better, it doesn't matter how they feel. It doesn't matter how they are coping right now. It is just how you feel. That is why people think you are a narcissist.
Twinkie is with Mama Lynn. No. Twinkie is without a doubt here. And a lot of you are like, how come you're not like vlogging her? Because I'm not vlogging. Like I'm literally not vlogging. All I'm showing is like me chilling. I haven't vlogged anything. I haven't even vlogged like, who knows? Maybe here down is actually missing, you know? So it's like, just because you don't show something in a video doesn't mean it's not happening. Like that's the thing that's like so, like that's probably one of the most frustrating things about being a YouTuber, like easily top 5, is like if people don't see my animals, or if they don't see me trying to work on my weight loss, or if they don't see me, I don't know, donating to like charities, it means those things aren't happening.
The thing is, Amber, you do love the speculation. The only times you don't like the speculation is when you're trying to tell the truth, or you're trying to convince people of something that is happening that isn't actually happening. Or on the rare occasion that you are actually telling the truth, that is when you want people to not speculate. But when it comes to everything else, you could fix it in 2 seconds. All you got to do is pick up the dog, show Emily, show yourself in Wisconsin with the dog, and there you go. Situation is done. The dog is with you, everything is fixed, everybody knows that Twinkie is healthy and safe. You could fix this entire situation with a 2-second TikTok, and yet you don't do it. And yet you say this, but 2 videos later, you lose your cat. That is why people are criticizing you as a pet owner. That is why people are worried about your pets, because 2 videos later, you lose your bloody cat. So don't get upset for people judging you for being a terrible pet owner or speculating on the fact that you're a terrible pet owner because you lost your cat 2 videos later.
That's not the case. But then what's really crazy is like people can assume the worst though. Y'all don't see me and my mom fighting with each other, but you guys are definitely assuming we are. So it's like,
because the context of the situation gives the perception that you are arguing with your mother. It happens in a way that makes people think a certain way, and it's not because they're automatically speculating, it's because they see the context and they assume it because that's the way it appears. Like, how do you not understand the basics of how people assume things? My God, it is so infuriating trying to understand how this woman's brain works. Like, from an outside perspective, even Amber would come up with that conclusion. Like, she herself would admit that conclusion, and yet she goes, I don't know why people think the worst though, because that's what the context makes it looks like. My God.
There is a heavy side of YouTube that I don't want to be a part of. That's the side that I don't like. That's the side that I don't enjoy. That's the side that makes me, it makes me depressed. It makes me sad. I feel like I've been abused so much online that I just I don't even recognize who I am as a YouTuber anymore, because it has completely shaped the way that I am. It has shaped me completely. I feel like I can't be fun. I can't be bubbly on here. I can't share super happy and exciting things on here anymore. Like I can't do that because I feel like I can't show that side of me, because it's like in the back of my brain, I'm constantly thinking about the bad parts of YouTube instead of just the good. I have thought of the good for so long and for so many years. And it's like now getting to the point where it's like the bad is outweighing the good big time. And I'm trying to figure out in private and in alone, what do I do to fix that? What do I need to do? And I can't figure it out because I'm only in control of myself. I'm not in control of everyone else. So no matter what I say and no matter what I do, there are thousands of people watching me that only view me as one thing, a villain, that only view me in one way, a narcissist, who only view this channel in one way, a drama way. I'm not a drama channel. I am a human. I am a actual human with feelings. I go through things privately, and I also share some things publicly.
Oh my god, let me just break out the violins. Like, you're not being abused, Amber. The things that you did to your exes were abusive, but what you are going through right now from reaction channels is not abuse. It's just holding a mirror up to your own actions. If you don't like your own actions, then don't do the shit that you do. Also, again, you are a public figure. You chose to be a public figure. All you gotta do is delete your YouTube channel, stop monetizing the things that you do online, and you will stop getting criticism. Go out offline, stop doing YouTube, stop doing Instagram, stop doing TikTok. Don't be a public figure anymore. It's that easy. Live a life of solitude with your future girlfriend. Bon voyage.
You're not gonna want that in your life anymore. And I know a lot of people can be like, okay, quit. Then quit. I think Hungry Fat Chick and we kind of understand each other. Her job is also YouTube, but she does mukbangs. So she decided to quit the mukbangs and move on to weight loss. And she was doing so good with her weight loss, but she was losing views, which means she was losing money. And she was very vocal about that. So she had to go back to the mukbangs. And that's not what she wanted to do.
Except if she wanted to, she could have got a part-time job or a full-time job to compensate for the money she lost and continue the weight loss journey. She saw an easy way out and she took the easy way out. Now, no hate to her because she seems like a lovely person and I was actually rooting for her. I saw her videos, I was supporting her, and I actually genuinely liked her content that she was, losing weight. It was nice to see. But she took the easy way out instead of doing a part-time job or a full-time job, which is what most people do. When it comes with YouTube or any type of influencing on the internet or social media in general, there's always a type of luck that comes with it. Sometimes you can do all the right things and you just never make it big. Sometimes you get lucky and you can make it, instantly famous overnight. It just takes one random thing that could give you instant success, and there's one random thing that could take that all away. There's always just a level of hard work and just determination, but also luck that comes with being a social media influencer. You can't just expect to people really to be there 24/7 for you when you change it up. Sometimes you're going to have to rebuild your community again. Sometimes it's going to take time. Sometimes it's just not going to work out and you just need to understand, okay, well, it ran its course. I'm not able to do this anymore and I need to do something else. I understand, I understand and empathize with her, but it's just an unfortunate reality that you can't just breathe through life by eating on camera. It's not going to work out like that. It may work out for a lot of people, but if you do it 24/7 and you're getting to the point where it's affecting your health, then you have to do something about it. Otherwise, your life is going to be very short.
You could tell, like, she felt defeated. And there comes a time where anyone can choose a job, they do it, and that's what they're relying on. Like, they have to go to work. In the same way that Hungry Fat Chick had to continue making those mukbangs to make a buck, to be able to pay for the roof over her head and to take care of herself, I also have to do the same. Like, I need to continue making YouTube videos. I don't want to give up. I don't want to walk away. Like, YouTube has been a constant for me for 11 years, but sometimes I need a break, and sometimes that break is long.
Except, Amber, your job isn't even really a job because you do the very bare minimum just to make a buy. Like sometimes you don't even do the bare minimum and you take pre-recorded content and you just shove it into a video and call it a day. So you can't even call your job a job. It's more of just a hobby you get paid for. And you could quit your job. You could do something else. Now, you might have to try and keep yourself low key because a lot of people would ruin that for you because of all the shit you've done in your past. But if you were able to go get a job and fly under the radar and just do your 9 to 5 quietly without inserting yourself into drama, you would be able to just have a 9 to 5 where you're not being constantly harassed all the time. Like sometimes someone might recognize you and it might ruin your career, but that's because that's a byproduct of what you've done in the 11 years of content. Not because people just hate you, but because of all the things that you have accumulated and done over your lifetime. Like you now have to suffer the consequences of your actions. But if you really wanted to, you could put your mind to it, you probably could do a 9 to 5 job. You just have to put in the effort, and it would obviously be a lot harder because it's going to take time to adjust because of your morbid obesity. But if you're willing to actually put the effort in, you could do it.
And people start questioning, well, that means you don't care about us. That's not true. That means I just care about myself too. I also get the assumption of like, what are you gonna do? You have no money. How are you making money? I pay my bills. That's ultimately up to me, but just know that I am very responsible. If I have a bill, that is paid on time. Sometimes even earlier. You guys don't have to worry about that, but like when I need a break from YouTube, that really means that I need a break from YouTube because I love making videos. Maybe I am a narcissist. Maybe I do love to hear myself talk. Regardless, I love doing it. And I love being there for so many of you. So when I'm not around, just know that there's a reason. And the reason 9 times out of 10, YouTube is affecting my mental health. I don't like to admit it out loud because I take pride. I take pride in my channel. I know a lot of people probably don't realize that, but I do. I have over 200,000 subscribers. Like, I can't believe it. I am able to live because of this channel. And to me, that is awesome. Like, regardless of how it happened. And I know there's so many people rooting for me right now. Like, it makes me emotional. And I appreciate it.
Oh my god, here we go. Alright guys, I'm just gonna leave it here. It's the same thing over and over again, and I just don't have the emotional bandwidth for it. And honestly, you guys probably are not even gonna watch it. Like, she said the same thing like 10 times in a row, so I doubt that you guys are gonna be interested in watching the whole video because even I'm boring myself here. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.